All right, hello again, pre-algebra. Today we are looking at negative exponents as opposed to regular exponents. So what is a negative exponent really? Okay, so where do I want to start? Okay, so this is the best place to start here, this little chart. As you go up, you get more factors of 10. As you go down, you're dividing by 10, right? 3 tens divided by 10 is 2 tens. 2 tens divided by 1 10 is another 10. So when you go negatives, you're actually increasing your exponent on the bottom. This is 1 over 10 to the third. This is 1 over 10 squared. So that might leave you with the question, well, what does 10 to the 0 mean, okay? So since you're going down and you're dividing by tens, 10 to the first is just 10. I'm going to go down to the next power, divide by 10. 10 over 10 equals 1. Anytime you have something to the 0 power, it's always a 1 because you divide the number by itself. So how do we write these as positive exponents, okay? Basically, if it's negative, you're just going to put it on the bottom half of a fraction and make it positive. So 3 to the negative fifth is 1 over 3 to the fifth. Y to the negative third, put the y to the third on the bottom, make it positive. Okay, if there's nothing else in the problem, you just put a 1 on top. If it were like 3y to the negative third, it'd be 3 over y to the third. 2 to the 0, anything to the 0 power is 1. Okay. Now, how do we use these with an exponent? Okay. With a negative exponent. Okay. So this is kind of the opposite of that. So if we go from a regular to the bottom of a fraction, to go backwards, you go from the bottom of a fraction to a regular. So what's being repeated? 6. How many times? 3. And since it was on the bottom, it has to be a negative 3. Now with these, you have to look and split it up into a base that's repeated. So I'm looking at 25. I know 25 is 5 squared. How do I make that negative into a negative exponent? I just make it same squared, but to the negative second power. Here, and what might help you is the root buttons over here. There's a square root button above the x squared, and there's a cube root or other root button above there. So let's try it. Square root of 27, like we did before, does not work. Okay. So we're going to go to the next one, which is a cube root or a third root, power of 3 root. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit 3. We're going to hit the button right above the x squared button, right there. It's an x root button. So any root I want to put in there, 27, and voila, it comes out to be 3. So I know that this is a cube root, so that means it's a third power. Now I have to make it a negative exponent, 3 to the negative third. You can do that for a 4 root, power of 4, power of 5 root, whatever you want. Okay? All right. How do I turn decimals into roots? Okay, so what's happening here is my number is less than 1, and I need to first write it as a fraction. So this is tenths, hundredths, thousandths, 10,000ths place. So 1 in the 10,000ths place. The TH means it's underneath a fraction, so 1 over 10,000. This is 10 to what power? 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros, so it's 10 to the fourth. And then I need to make it a negative, so it's 10 to the negative fourth power. Boom. And you can do the same thing for that one. That's the same thing. It's 10 to the negative fifth because there's 1 extra 0. It's the same basic pattern. Okay. Now, lastly, we're going to evaluate expressions. So we're going to actually plug numbers in and solve them. So m to the negative second, m is 4. So 4 to the negative second, which is 1 over 4 squared, which is 1 over 16. No different. Let's go all the way over to this one. So here it's negative 4. Remember when you got that negative exponent, you put it on the bottom. Oops, sorry, that should be m is 4. So it's negative 4 over 4 squared, which is negative 1 over 4, right? Because 1, 4, 2 4s, one set cancels out, leaving a 1. The negative doesn't change, and then you're still left with a 4. And there you have it. Any questions? Message me talk to me in class, message me on Canvas or an email. Do whatever it takes to dominate this lesson. Talk to you soon.